Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Hijack.
Hello, Jack.
This is Once Upon a Time edition. Zach is shaking his head already.
I don't know. I did this to me.
That sounded like a very bin. But this is not lost. This is Once Upon a Time we're going to talk about. Lily, this was a depressing episode. I'm sorry, but it was really depressing. Because you knew the flashback was going to end badly from the very beginning.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty strong episode as far as moving these things. They didn't move things forward in the way I thought they were going to. I thought they might try to do like escalate the darkness too quick. They played with that, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was good. They recognized one act doesn't connotate completely going to the dark side.
And honestly, I'll just say again, Regina is by far the most level-headed person in this show.
Concerning, but
it is concerning.
Although I was a little disappointed that it hadn't come up with a better plan of action when they encountered Robin Hood than tell him, "Hey, your wife Marion's really Zelina. Let's go."
Of course, that's not going to work. What do they think? And poor Robin, his facial expression is just like,
Yeah.
So I'm a little disconcerted by this. Like Lily, she just cursed. I get the magic, but like there's no free will in her life apparently.
Yeah.
That's a little odd to me.
I actually all around liked this episode. I was waiting to see if they were going to. I was going to be very apprehensive if they didn't explain how she knew everything. Yeah, and I didn't necessarily expect them to explain it
in this episode. Yeah,
but they did it well, and it wasn't. And it wasn't like, oh, that's crazy. I thought that was good. My only real thing I disliked was the fact that it seems that this chance of being dark that she had is not a chance at all. It was you're guaranteed to be dark, which I don't necessarily have a problem with that if originally they would have framed it as such a thing. Doesn't it seem like she's guaranteed?
I thought it was like all the chance of being dark would be passed on from you to you.
Yeah, that's what. But what I don't understand about that is like Lily being dark. It makes sense. I'm a little uncomfortable just personally with the whole like she has no choice in it. She tries her best and everything turns out her being evil, which is just kind of unfortunate. But here's my other thing. Emma doesn't seem like a particularly good person. Not that she's bad, but she's not like the opposite. She's not like the anti-Lily.
No.
That's what doesn't sell this to me. She's like a normal person, and Lily's evil. So what, is that the two... That just doesn't... That kind of like, we're opposites doesn't...
It doesn't
make
sense.
Play really well.
Emma has always had an awful life.
I know.
She was a criminal. She did all these bad...
She went to jail, actually,
Had a kid in jail.
I guess it were her own free choice and not...
Then why doesn't Lily?
But I'm concerned. I don't understand. Wasn't it... What happened was that there was this chance that Emma would turn bad, right?
Yeah, but then they made it into a reality, like... Maleficent's daughter will be evil and Emma will be good.
She will be a good savior and Lily will be an evil anti-savior.
Okay. I guess I had forgotten that it wasn't... They didn't pass on the chance. They passed on the
possibility of darkness, I guess.
Well, not the possibility, but the guarantee that she's dark.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes a little sense.
That's the thing, that they make the prophecy very vague so you can interpret it however that you need to.
I kind of like this. They're intertwined, and but just it's very odd to me that Emma's had as a hard life as Lily in many ways, and Lily, and again, when Lily comes into contact, then Emma tends to go off the rails. But Emma never has come up with being like this
perfect
paragon of anything, or even remotely close.
Well, this season
she's much more like a Hook.
This season they've made her look better by these flashbacks, and all of the flashbacks. She's the innocent runaway, which is not what they've made her look like in past seasons.
Well, we've also seen her younger in these flashbacks than we've seen her in previous.
I do like young Emma. I think
I don't. The actress to me isn't as good a fit as
the young Snow's insanely good.
The young
fit.
Snow and the young. I think the young Lily is a good. I think that's a better fit. That's just.
Well, they just got old Lily matched the young Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we saw young Lily first.
Yeah.
In this case.
That's true.
But
We saw the sorcerer for once.
I love
Yeah,
the
that's
sorcerer.
true.
Or
That
not
was
the
cool.
sorcerer. I love the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
So it would be kind of freaky to me, a guy with a beard like that sitting next to you on the bus who says, "I know everything about you."
You know what would just to go back to this real quick. You know what would have been better for the anti Emma than the Lily we got? She needed to be like more evil. She like if this curse or this change thing was as bad as they say, it seems like it wasn't just I keep getting put in these bad situations like robbing convenience stores and stuff like that. She should be like an evil businesswoman or something. Like she should have like
Cruella sort of style.
Yeah. They want you to feel bad for her because if you feel bad for her, she's not. They don't want her to be a bad guy. They want you to want her to feel bad because then you go those horrible, charmings and causing this for her.
Well, but see, I don't know. Like if like say Kingpin from Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's
I just watched him smash some guy's head in a door.
Yeah,
it was awful.
Yeah. So like genuinely bad person, and this is. If you want to draw a bigger distinction between Emma, she's kind of the orphan that's been kicked around. Yeah. Well, then maybe the other one is
an orphan who decided I'm going to do this.
And even the Kingpin, like in that, he has this. I mean, when they first introduce him, he's like trying to date this woman, and he's being very awkward and stuff. I mean, there's ways to make a really bad person like that compassionate and showing a human side while still kind of emphasizing. This person has it way more together than your hero does.
These writers have that
the weird thing, I guess, come back to my uncomfortableness with the whole she can't do anything bad, which is it's a cool plotline because of the way they've set that up and whatever. But when they play for seasons on Bad is Not Born, It's Made.
Yeah,
it just feels. I mean, obviously it's supposed to be distinct. It's like the worst possible curse or whatever. And and all this happened just because the author decides to have fun with it. I mean, does he have a better idea or he just thought it was fun to make the Snows and Sorcerer's Apprentice do that? Or did he have some sort of big plan?
Yeah, I don't know. It is very that's a good point. We don't really know what his motivations were.
I mean, that's a big deal to just kind of like, I'm going to just ruin Maleficent's life just because it's fun.
Like there should have been a.
I mean, there is. Yeah,
because he does seem to have some other motivation going forward from here.
Yeah, I think has been one of the weaker characters. Like I said last time, I like him. I don't know.
We do have a grip of why he does what he does.
Yeah, he's not a fully fleshed out character. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or we haven't seen him fully fleshed out, and I don't know. I have less confidence that they're going to. But this episode gave me a little more confidence because I was really going to be mad if they she knows everything. And she, found out by researching this or that or whatever. Just a hokey explanation. Yeah. But how it was done was a good explanation.
Especially since, obviously, the apprentice felt bad about doing it in the first place. He wanted to make rights.
Yeah. Because
it worked.
And it's pretty well established. No one believes in the existence of magic or storybook or any of this stuff unless they encounter someone from that thing. No one just stumbles across this stuff. So,
Except, what was that?
The dragon back in the day?
No. That organization.
Peter Pan ran that.
Oh yeah, that was Peter Pan.
Yeah,
that was before we went to the dreaded Neverland for 10 years.
Then we had the gold plot line, which the problem with gold, I just can't get a read on this season. I don't know. Am I supposed to think he's evil? Am I supposed to just think he just wants to make his heart feel better?
I think he's a little bit of both.
It's
the problem with this. Going with the evil is born, not, or what was the expression? Made, not born. You go these lines too far, everything just starts becoming gray. Yeah. And we've seen that with the Charmings. We were seeing that more with Gold.
And real life is great. It's great. Well, I mean, but
it loses the fairy tale aspect.
And the thing is, the difference between what's evil and what's not evil is very weird because, half the people who say they're evil haven't done anything evil for a long time, or like Cruella. Until we saw her backstory, didn't seem remotely evil. Mm-hmm. And then we see her backstory, and she's like, okay, start raving mad.
Right.
Gold's storyline, his motivation, it's all very muddy, and I still am not sold on. So he knew when he picked up
Well, I don't know if
Ursula and all these people, that eventually it would lead to Maleficent asking about her daughter and then him telling, and that he could make Emma go find her, which will help him turn bad. I mean, it just is like a very...
I don't know that he necessarily had all the things lined up, but I think he certainly needed allies, like going back to the storybook. But I think he could see some of these people as like cards he could play, and if he played the cards right, then the pieces would line up.
I mean, I see that. I just... It's too often that it ends up like he always has the right card at the right time, even when like he didn't plan it very well. I mean, I don't know. And that's more this season than ever before. That it just is like everything is extra coincidental that gets a little...
But you can see the things are starting to focus, as we get near the finale here, you can tell, okay, the last couple episodes have been really very well focused. That, there's a muddy in the middle.
Well, and I think that's Once Upon a Time's biggest issue in the last couple of years. That was the Peter Pan thing.
Yeah.
The same problem was there. It was muddy in the middle. I think they have a beginning and they have an end, and they're not sure how they want to get from here to there, and they don't take as much time crafting that as I think maybe they should.
What do you guys think about the soap opera ending?
I'm pregnant.
That's pretty close.
I have no opinion yet.
You know what, though?
I had a funny feeling there was headed that way.
Yeah. I wanted to go back and did want to mention coming down so hard last week on the shooting, turning her evil and stuff. It does seem as if that was more the promotional people than the actual show. Mm-hmm. Because they did a nice job this week of it didn't turn her bad. It just...
may have given her a black mark.
Killing someone, even though it was which is a real thing. Even if you kill someone in self-defense,
you've broken the line.
Kill someone, and there is something to that is not.
You've crossed a line that's now easier to cross.
And so using that as a gateway worked much better than I thought they were going to be like this stark. Now she's evil, and I think some of that is the promotions, the previews and stuff that they have. They make you want to think these things that the guys writing the shows and directing and stuff don't ever make those.
Now, if it had been a flashback, maybe it would have been good.
Well,
but that's another matter. Going back to Gold real quick, and then we should wrap this up. I mean, I do kind of like. Well, it's hard to tell, but I like the scene of him saying, basically apologizing.
I didn't expect him to say, "I've been deceiving you since the day I married you." I mean, I'm like, okay.
Wow, that's actual refreshing honesty.
Sometimes I'm so used to, I can't ever tell if he's going to start lying all the time or not, because I can't,
I mean, the funny thing is, it feels like it's scene of him letting her go, but at the same time, we know that he's out to get his happy ending still. So it's an interesting... I think it's an interesting tease.
Yeah, I couldn't tell whether he was trying to play her or not in the apology.
Yeah.
I could watch more of Will Scarlet though.
Oh yeah. Oh, they need more Nave all the time.
He's really good.
It's that whole every time Gold talked to him, he was constantly backing up.
No, the Nave is great. If you have not seen, the guys listeners, they've just seen Wonderland. Wonderland is a great.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any way to even watch it now.
Did you watch it?
Well, I mean, I watched the full thing, but I don't know that it's on Hulu
I thought that was
anymore.
pretty strongly put together.
Maybe it's on ABC.com. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it's around somewhere.
But the Nave was great.
But
another thing in this episode, Emma's lie detector was on.
It was on. It's a good way to put it.
Lie detector is like
a little spotty.
That's like in the Once Upon a Time drinking game. The time she mentions her lie.
All right. Well.
Okay, so anyways, I think that was a pretty interesting episode.
Yeah. And
that was nice. That was a nice setup from way back in the Ice Queen thing. This up the Lily thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean that was a nice setup payoff.
That's true.
Yeah, because you did realize
and there was something
to her back then.
You're like, we're going to learn something later. And
that's a long-term payoff. So
well, that was earlier this season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, but it was in the frozen half. That's the thing.
But
it's hard to think of the same season, but
that's a long-term payoff for Once Upon a Time. That's not necessarily that's not a lost long-term payoff.
True. All right. Well, while we've been chatting away here, Kurt and Deb have been just ignoring us on their mobile devices, so that's fine.
We've checked out.
You've been hijacked.
We just hijacked your living room for this podcast, but we're going to wrap up. So
that's all I've got.
Until next time, listen to us. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of this episode or of our ramblings. And until next time, this is Tim.
This is Nick.
Adios.